The only modification is that we have the primary contractor, secondary contractor, and tertiary contractor. What we have is the lowest overall cost. In this case, if you look at the tabulation sheet, we have the primary who's got most of the line items. Can you go to the tab sheet real quick? Go to the next page. There you go. You gotta zoom in. If you look on the tab sheet, you have the primary and secondary on that particular page. What's in yellow is highlighted is the lowest cost per line item. So what we did is the recommendation is to award the term contract to multiple contractors for demolition services as follows. RLC Consulting Group of Brownsville, Texas as the primary contractor at the stipulated prices on the tab sheet. Rudy Martinez Hauling of Brownsville, Texas, the secondary contractor at the stipulated prices on the tab sheet. And Decorative Concrete Designs of Brownsville, Texas as the tertiary contractor for the stipulated prices. This is a contract that will be approved, if it's approved by City Commission, will start and shall expire March 31st of 2013 with the option to extend for 2 additional years. But now we're going to bring it back every year for the extensions.
I have some other items that are very different from when this was last brought before us at the last meeting. Mm-hmm. At the last meeting and within our agenda, and you reaffirmed this, you said that 9 acknowledgments were received when you sent out the bid request.
Yeah, no, there was a correction, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on the last meeting, I made a correction on the analysis on number 2. On the project milestones. There was a typo on the previous meeting, and also on item number 1 on the acknowledgments. We went back and we look at the acknowledgments. The thing is, when we did the count, since there were a few addendums, my assistant helped me to count the acknowledgments that we have received electronically. So since the file doesn't have a name, we were doing the count like that. But that's why we fixed that typo together with the number 2, where it says that there were 5 contractors at the previous meeting. So there were a few typos in there.
Okay, so you corrected the typo from 9 acknowledgments to 3 acknowledgments, and then now instead of awarding 5 companies the contract, you've reduced it to 3 companies.
Yes, ma'am. The reason why is because if you look at the tab sheet can you go to the next page? If you look on the bottom on that page, as well as the previous one, at the bottom there's just a few prices or a few line items that we're hardly going to be using. The reason why the first time I brought it up to 5 contractors is because purchasing I guess my main responsibility is to save taxpayers money. Okay, and according to local government code, chapter 252, it says that it should be awarded to the lowest responsible and responsive bidder, unless we use best value. In this case, we presented the award for the lowest bid. If you see on the tab sheet, every single line item that is highlighted in yellow represents the low responsible price per line item. But now that we look at the tab sheet, we found out that it's easier for the city, it's easier for purchasing to have only 3 contractors and have them as a primary, secondary, and tertiary without having to go through each line item.
What's the difference between the procedure that you're using and the base value?
Well, base value says that when you award a contract based on the low bid, if you use base value, you're not only awarding a contract to the lowest bid, but you can also, let me give you an example. If you have a bid that came in from a contractor that you don't have any experience with, and then you have the second lowest bid, who you deal with in many construction cases. Under the government code allows you to use best value, not only based on the low bid, but also based on references, previous performance, previous and past performance. So not necessarily you have to approve the lowest bid if you specify that on the specs.
Okay, and was that specified in the specs?
I believe it was specified on this particular bid. We always use best value. We insert that on the language on the bid solicitations, because you never know, you might have a contractor.
But we're not going on the best value specs.
We're using the lowest cost.
Okay,
the lowest
and
bid.
why are we not using the best value specs? Because I would think that would safeguard us a little bit better if we use the best value, because you go back into their credentialings, their references, and their past performance with the city contracts. Is that correct?
Yes. If you look on your analysis on the agenda, I went back and I included references for all the contractors as part of your agenda. It includes references, a license. They need to comply with the asbestos abatement. They also listed all the equipment that they have. So to get back to answer your question on the qualifications, all of these contractors that submitted, they complied with the requirements on the bid specs.
Well, I'm a little concerned because we're changing the procedure, and that's why I asked for us to have the workshop, because of the procedures, and then it's apparent to me that we're changing
We're not.
the procedures after the fact that we've already sent it out for the bids. That's a little unsettling to me, and for that reason I would ask that we table this item until we get the workshop presented to us.
It's very interesting to me how we change the
Actually,
process after we've already made selections, and then we bring it back, and then the language is different, and there are different things. It's just,
if you look at the tab sheet, we have not changed, we have not modified anything. We're just going with the overall cost. Like I say, if you look at the analysis, it says levels shall be determined on a lowest overall cost basis.
okay, but we didn't do that the first time. Now we're doing that.
Well, like I mentioned it to the commission before, our job is to award the contract to the lowest responsible bidders.
Well, we have to also make sure that we're not awarding contracts to the low responsive bidder, but that we're getting qualified contractors that are going to do a good job, and that we're not going to be spending our city monies on contractors that are not going to fulfill the terms of the job. And so that's my concern, that we need to make sure that these contractors are going to fulfill their obligations and not leave us out of our money. And so for that reason, I would ask that we table it, Mayor, and we can have
I would get to see a contractor submit a proposal for the city and not go through. If you submit a proposal, you're going to go through with it. Now I know where this is headed, and you said you wanted your workshop. We have tabled. I would advise in the best possible way that you all try to make some sort of an appointment with Robert and come learn the process before the workshop, if we haven't had the workshop. But in other words, we go by lowest bid. That's the process. That's how this works.
But is that fair to the taxpayers that they're getting?
You're getting the taxpayer a contract on the low possible bid is your responsibility, and that is what we're doing.
The fact that you have so many changes from one meeting to the next is not a red flag for you? I don't understand that,
Commissioner. I don't want to go into open session with you and call you out as to why this is going on. And this is not a threat. I'm just saying there's other motives that are going on here. There's other things that are going on.
Okay.
Please
I have
don't
no motive.
Okay.
I have no motive.
Okay. Can we have order, please? Commissioner Gowan.
I just wanted to say that I agree with Commissioner Vasquez for the virtue of the fact that last time I would enjoy hearing the workshop before making a decision.
Okay, we'll do one of two things. We can do what the commission wishes. There is a item number 13 that we can either vote up or down, or we can entertain a motion to table.
The table.
Second.
All those in favor of tabling this item until after the workshop, I'm assuming?
So it'll be tabled and the process is going to stay the same?
Well, it'll be dependent on what the workshop we come out on the workshop.
I think that the motion before the commissioners right now is a table, and it is carried, if I understand that Estella, did we count votes? I think we have 4 votes to table this until the next time, so the motion to table carries, okay?
Nays? Longoria? Just asking for the nays.
Commissioner Longoria, did you vote yes or no, or did you abstain?
It didn't go up, but I vote nay.
Nay?
Is anybody else voting nay?
Okay. Item number 14, this item will be tabled.
Okay.
Item 14,